Alright, I do believe we're all set to go. I just need to do one quick audio check to make sure everything sounds right. Alright, I'm satisfied with it. So, the original plan was to shoot this out in the open, but as you can see, a rainstorm has hit here in Thavnair, and so we're gonna have to just be content with the fact that we are in a area where there is a roof. And it turns out to be a good idea because this is the marketplace. We can't really buy anything with what we have. We're here to help out various people because we know that a lot of them are going through some tough times right now, and so we're gonna plan to give them a hand here today. So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Greetings, people of the world. This is Matthias Griffin with you for our first full day run of Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker content for our Let's Play. And so we're going to be here this morning, then I'm going to be back later in the afternoon, and I will be back later this evening to try and get as much stuff as we can done, and then we'll do it all over again tomorrow. So, without further ado, why don't you say we help out the various people despite the fact that it is a freaking downpour. So let's start by finding the closest person we can to help. And it appears to be this little Ori girl who's caught in the rain. Yeah, I wonder what's happening to her. Yeah, you can see that she is probably shivering in this rain. Let's see what's happening with her as we take on her quest entitled Tika Hike. The child is looking around, trying to catch the attention of any passers-by. Need a raincoat, sweetie?
Oh, you look fierce. Are you? Can you help me find my sister?
I look fierce? Well, yeah, Rika's like, are you sure I look fierce?
She went off to hunt some Sotomorg so she can make me chicken tikka. She's so brave, but she's been gone for quite some time. I've never strayed far from the gates, and those beasts look so frightening. She shouldn't be far. Can you find her for me? She has red hair, and she looks so elegant in her hunting garb. She set off to the northwest. I'll be waiting for you to come back.
Alright. Let's head on out. Let's head on out into the rain and see if we can't find this sister of hers. Of course, while this is going on, the first official episode of my Final Fantasy XIV Let's Play is currently live on YouTube as we speak. I really need to do all I could to make the intro this morning before coming on air today, and it was definitely worth the effort, and if you have the opportunity to watch the first Let's Play episode after watching this today, I'm sure you'll agree. So we will round the corner and find this auburn-haired Aura. Hello there.
Quiet you, I'm lying in wait, can't you see? What is it?
Well, we need to tell you something.
My sister? Oh, she does worry after me so. I apologize for her imposition. Today is her name day, and I wanted to do something special for her. So much has gone wrong as of late, and she's always managed to keep a smile on her face. I thought that Sotomorg would be simple prey, but now that I've seen her up close, I can barely bring myself to move. I've never been so afraid, truth be told.
Bit off more than you can chew, I see.
But you look as if you've never known fear. You can make quick work of the Sotomorg, I'm certain. If you don't mind, could you slay the animal for me? I've already set the traps, so one shouldn't be along soon enough. Without their meat, I can't hope to make the chicken tikka that my sister so adores. Please, if not for me, then do it for her.
So yeah, conveniently staying right over here and prepare for battle. That works out just fine as far as I'm concerned. That's some of my choco, and let's start waiting over for this thing. There it is. So this is what a Sotomorg looks like. Yeah, it definitely looks hungry indeed. Hopefully my bird can fetch this bird with the greatest of ease. So, spin right through you. And take it down. There we go. Alright, young lady.
That was an inspiring display. Were you able to procure its meat?
We certainly have.
Ah, this is the most delicious part. Thank you, thank you. You must let me repay you for your bravery. Please, meet me near the city gates where I told my sister to wait. I do hope she hasn't wandered off.
And I will see you there. Away we go. Alright, let's speak with the Chocobo Keep, get you checked off, and then we'll speak with the Aura. Hello there.
There's the brave traveler. Thank you for finding my sister. She said that you took down that Sotomorg in a single blow.
Yeah, she may be exaggerating. Anything for Chicken Tikka, or it is your name day after all. Yeah, your big sister told me about it.
Thank you! The memories of us gathering around the table as a family over a homemade feast are among my fondest. Our parents have gone to Radsat Han to find work. Seeing as how there's none to be found here since that tower appeared, they've sent word they'll return for this little one's name day. I want them to arrive to a feast rivaling the ones from before, and thanks to you, they will. Please, take this for all you've done to give our family a memory we can cherish.
Well, thank you. So in addition to 173,250 experience points, which is of course scaled now, because we're at level 82, we can up ourselves to one of the various dishes we've had the opportunity to choose from before, and just like before, we'll take the DPS Amrlasi. And so away they go. And now to see who else needs our help. Pink Reaper, huh? Well, she definitely meets that criteria. I wouldn't necessarily say that she's like the people in the pink outfits in Squid Game, but still. Anyway, let's move on. We're gonna leave the blue quest for last, just like we did before when we were over in Labyrinthos. So we'll stroll on over here and speak with Kifaraz, who we had the opportunity to speak to before. We'll go ahead and take on his quest entitled Fruit Savior. Kifaraz is rubbing the small of his back and smiling at you through the pain. You there, I take it by the hunger in your eyes that you're in search of work. As luck would have it, I am in need of assistance and have the coin to make it worth your while. Usually I'd haul these goods ashore myself, but today my back doesn't seem amenable to the prospect. If we could help an old merchant out, I reckon we can both go to sleep today satisfied. I think so too. Ah, very good, very good. I marked on the map where the crates are to be delivered. Careful now, the fruits inside bruise easily. Yeah, no pressure. Give me a shout once you're done and we'll see about getting you paid. Deliver the crate of fruit to the designated location before time runs out. You're 2 minutes. And so away we go. Let's get it to where it needs to be. So it's gonna be right up there. Let's go ahead and round the corner. And find our spot. Right over here. The crate of fruit rests snugly amongst the rest of the shipments. Report your success to Kefaraz. Yeah, that was pretty easy. Nothing to it. And so back we go. And so we'll let Mr. Kifaraz know that we achieved what he sought. No crate in your hands, eh? I take it that means your task is done. Good job. That particular shipment was packed to the brim with this region's finest fruits. Owing to this region's insufferable heat, they're sweeter than any other I've ever tasted. I was meant to deliver them to a client of mine in Limsa, but no sooner had I set sail than I received word that my goods were no longer needed. A damn shame, but now that they're resting under the shade, at least they won't go to waste. That's life, eh? Sometimes the wind is at your back, sometimes you're left floundering, and other times you're stuck in bed on a beautiful day because your back is having none of it. But I tend to find that fortune smiles upon those with patience as they did today when I saw you strolling along the docks. Anyway, here's your payment for a job well done. Till next we meet. Well, that'll all depend on how many more times I have to come to you. But we'll take our experience plus a level 80 ring. And so now, we'll head off to the far dock. And down at the far end, we'll meet up with Maruna. We tried to sell fish to, I believe it was last night we did that. But now he has a quest for us, so let's go ahead and take on his quest entitled Shelling Out. Maruna is gazing off into the distance, as if looking for a ship on the horizon. From a distance I thought you to be a fishmonger, but now that I behold you up close it's clear that you don't hail from these parts. Odd as your garments are, however, I can tell that they're made for hard work. Luckily for you, I have just the task. Is it that much of a giveaway? Also, my garments are not odd. Well, given the fact that my armor has an open stomach piece on it, I guess I can see why you would think that. I mean to make a necklace for an acquaintance of mine, but my design calls for shells pulled from the vicious cachapa. As fine a crafter that I am, I'm afraid that hunting is quite outside my wheelhouse. If you do the rough work in my stead, you will be well compensated for your time, and have my undying gratitude besides. I require 2 shells from the hulking beasts. A simple feat for one such as you, surely. And so as the rain comes to an end and we get a beautiful sunset, let's make our way over to where he wants us to get these shells. Ugh. I hope all of you guys who are watching have had the opportunity to enjoy this first week of Endwalker, even if all of us have been, one way or another, struggling just to get into play. But if you're fortunate enough, you can get in and things will be just fine. So as we stroll down the beach, we'll find what we need. Yeah, the Kachapa are these adamantoids. So, yeah, show him how much we mean business. Stun the AoE, and make sure that he never really gets an effective attack off. Now let's hustle over here quickly, so we can use this. And we got it off in time. Haha, you got stunned again. And that's how you'll die. And so, back we go. Yeah, we may have the ugly tower off in the distance. We can't quite... Ah, there it is. But, at least we get a beautiful sunset to close out the day. Oh, get up. There we go. Yeah, you can do it, Rika. You and your chocobo. You got this. As we run by someone who has a Kirin, we'll make our way back over to Maruna. I see you've been busy. Do you have the shells? Indeed we do. There you go. Ah, yes, yes. These are just what I seek. I mean to present my necklace to a woman with very discerning tastes. So I thank you for choosing shells of such high quality. She collects and assists taxation at Ulner, and her duties often bring her to this very port. We become quite close over the past few moons. Only a few days ago, she sent me a charm to ensure my good health and fortune. My spirits were much invigorated, for it symbolizes her deep trust in me. I've heard tell that these are shared among siblings to express their love for one another. But obviously, this is not a sibling you're dealing with. It's customary to send a gift in return, so I had it in mind to craft a... Siblings? Siblings? Is that how she thinks of me? I was certain it was something altogether different, but now that I say it out loud... Yeah, you just realized what's going on. I suppose I can still be happy with this arrangement. I'll look over her as a brother, and as a brother would his beloved sister. Keep her safe from harm. Yes. Anyway, I promised you recompense, didn't I? Here, you've earned it. Yeah, and your love-struck attitude has just shattered. We'll take your experience plus a level lady earring. Yeah, that was too funny. That was just too funny. Alright, let's go back. Yeah, what else are we gonna see around here? Well, actually, it turns out there are no other quests here left in Jalamut. I thought there were a few more, but not the case. So, yeah, we can just go ahead and take on the chain quest right now. Yeah, I could have sworn that I saw more quests on the map, but apparently not. So, we have Miss O'Ghoul here, who's looking very nervous or scared, and obviously it's going to be us to help her out. So let's go ahead and speak with her to take on the next quest, entitled Stepchild. O'Ghoul is looking around in trepidation.
Why are there Matanga everywhere? Has this town fallen?
What are you talking about? Are you scared of them?
Ah, your face! It is known to me! You were the warrior who fought for the Mola than Adam!
Apparently you come from the Azim Steppe?
I am O'Ghoul of Katayan. It was your bravery and skill which inspired me to embark upon my own hero's journey. Yet now I have foolishly blundered into a den of Matanga. Why do these others walk without fear? Do they not care if they are slaughtered?
Yeah, these Matanga are not like those on the Azim Steppe, or the Arkosodara are a civilized tribe. Yeah, they are. Except they're getting kidnapped and put into the ugly tower.
I do not doubt your word, but grandmother would always warn me, if you encounter a Matanga, you turn tail and flee, as fast and far as you can.
Yeah, quite the culture shock, isn't it?
Her tears were awful and bloody, and so now the very sight of them, the terrorizes unbidden. Now I cannot stay here. I must earn enough coin to buy passage from this nightmare island as soon as possible. I beg of you, stay at my side for a time, just until I meet with this Kankana person the sailors told me about. She's said to have work that pays a fair wage, so I will see what she has for me.
Okay then. Don't worry, I'll be your bodyguard. Yeah, run for your life, O'Ghoul! Run! Yeah, more like Tokyo Ghoul. Yeah, I was kind of stretching that one, but hey, gotta try, right? Gotta try and make something sounds funny or silly. Yeah, let's go find O'Ghoul and the person she was trying to speak with. So, through the door we go. Yeah, now her fears are just made worse. O'Ghoul?
By the Tusk Mother! No one told me Kankana was a Matanga! Could I ask you to speak with her in my stead?
Oh, man. Yeah, you'll have to forgive her, she's a bit shy.
Welcome to Jalamut, traveler. I am Kankana, and it is my job to assign the right work to the right workers. Might I have your name?
Well, I can introduce myself.
Rika and O'Ghoul, was it? Let me jot those down. Oh, grandmother, why? Why did it have to be a matanga? Is your companion quite alright?
You'll have to forgive her. She's a bit scared of you.
Ah, an understandable reaction. The Gajasura tribe have done much to stain the reputation of our people. You are looking for work though, yes? Many have been forced to take what they can since the troubles began, so I'm afraid all of the simple jobs are gone. As for what's left, I only have tasks fit for seasoned fighters. Does that sound like something you could do?
Maybe. Yeah.
Fighting? I can fight! Lest you doubt, my skill is likened to that of the Dragonbane, the legendary Chokazo herself!
Although you would never be able to tell it the way she reacts to the Matanga.
I'm not familiar with that name, but you sound formidable indeed. Why don't we start you out on escort duty then? A group of artisans set off to harvest materials and ask that I send any prospective protectors their way should I happen to enlist any. What? They already set off? Is our duty not to escort them? There's to be a ritual dance performed in Kanyaya's footsteps. They'll need incense and costumes for the dancers and such. The entire thing was decided rather suddenly, so there was no time to waste.
Yeah, what are your thoughts?
And these artisans you speak of, do they also include Matanga in their number?
Would you like to take a wild guess on that one?
It was an Akasodara who submitted the request. I hope that won't be a problem.
Oh, it certainly will.
Oh, not at all. I look forward to fainting at the feet of my most feared enemy.
Wow! Yeah, and you call yourself a warrior?
Rika, I cannot do this alone. Pray lend me the strength of the victor of the Nadam, and half the reward for this task will be yours.
Yeah, what have I gotten myself into?
The artisans didn't plan to venture far. Leave Yedlamad to the west, and you shall come across your employer.
Thank you.
Then that is where we shall meet. You will find me there, yes?
Yeah, she's so eager to get on out of here. Yeah, we better save her before she gets even more scared. Yeah, and to no real surprise, geez, just the mere sight of them is too much for her to bear. Sir, can I help you? Oh, you must be our belated escort, yes? Indeed I am. Glad to have such courageous, Is your companion not well? She seems a touch shaky. Yeah, Ogul.
Of course, I should have thought of it before. I shall harvest the necessary ingredients while the artisan stays here. That way I have no need to fear him, being harmed. Perfect.
I think you're just looking for a means of escape. I must say this is less than ideal. My people are already scattered across the wilds and I wanted someone to roam around and ensure they were safe from attack. Is your friend perhaps frightened by Akasodara? I have met such travelers before. Well, no matter. If you can patrol the area as I asked, I must attend to my own harvesting. Ogul has run off into the wilds alone. Keep an eye out for her as you continue your patrol. Alright then. Geez, you thought that she would have been given a heads up on what she could expect before she showed up here. I mean, she came a long way from the Azim Steppe, and as if things weren't bad enough, yeah. The wounds are getting salted heavily. The wounds are being heavily salted. And this poor girl doesn't stand a chance. Yeah, she's gonna get any example of girl power, she's gonna need it from the Warrior of Light. And her trusty chocobo as well. Down it goes. Yeah, let's help you out. Yeah, let me help you, sir.
You must think me foolish. I was so absorbed in my task that I failed to notice the ground shaking at their approach. Still, my injuries are light and my satchel is full. Thanks to you, I think I can make it back to town in time to meet with the others. And away he goes. And what about you, Ogul? You had your sword ready.
What happened?
Yeah, you probably clutched onto your sword, closed your eyes, and hoped that the worst would come to pass, and it is now past.
Did you slay the beast?
Yeah, I did.
That was a near thing. I took the first one by surprise, but the second, knowing a Matanga stood at my back, my mind froze and my body refused to obey. Grandmother taught that we should let fear wash over us like water, but to my shame I could not have failed her more thoroughly. Not to sound ungrateful, Rika, but why did you follow me?
Because you're scared out of your wits?
We were to patrol? Forgive me, I should have waited for orders instead of running off alone and putting lives in peril. Come, we should return to our employer. I want to be sure that the wounded man reached safely.
Alright, we can do that. Yeah, this poor girl. Like, what do we do to help her out? In the meantime, yeah, that's between the two of them, and geez, maybe she's getting some courage, but she just can't turn and face him.
My colleague told me of his rescue. Although we had hoped for an escort from the start, imagine if you hadn't come at all. Yeah, that would have been bad. I've sent him and the others back to our workshop, so consider your duty with us complete. You have my thanks. As for your payment, you can collect that from Kankana.
And away he goes. And as for you, Ogul,
right, I suppose we report to Kankana then.
Yeah, something she'll have to do begrudgingly. Let's go. Off we go. Alright, Kankana, back to you.
Ah, there you are. Your employer expressed satisfaction with your work, so congratulations on a job well done. As a response to the recent chaos, the upcoming ritual was hastily planned to say the least. As a consequence, the artisans have been hard-pressed to make everything ready. But when times are hard, the people of Thavner rely on such traditions to renew their faith and bolster their hearts with the teachings of the divine. The death of an artisan would have thrown the whole thing into disarray, and thus your rescue is timely indeed. Please accept your payment, half each, as agreed upon. Are you interested in further work? If I may have something for you if so.
Indeed we do. So in addition to the experience, we'll get 1,095 gil, which I guess is our share of the work, plus another Aether Currents. And so, let's go ahead and speak with Kankana again, to take on our next quest entitled, The Matanga Along the Way. Kankana looks at you expectantly.
Ready to tackle another job then? This one was registered by a local fisherman asking for help with marauding monsters. Ordinarily, the Radiant Host keeps the worst of the wildlife in check, but these days there just haven't been enough blades to spare. You'll want to speak with the fisherman himself for the details. I couldn't read the scroll he left for a name, but he is an Arco Sodara and should be found fishing the waters from the western shore. Wait, another Matanga? Rika, you could always use more coin, yes? Because I could certainly benefit from your wise and experienced company.
Geez, this poor girl.
A fine pair of hunters we shall make. Come, let us speak with this Akosodara fisherman.
Yeah, and quickly. Oh, man. Speaking of oh man, my voice is starting to go already, and we're not even 30 minutes in. Ugh. Oh, get back on the Choco. Alright, go. Yeah, thankfully I have what's left of my iced coffee from this morning. So I can use some of the melted ice cubes and the ice that's still left to just wet my whistle a little. Yeah, I hope wherever you are watching on this Saturday morning,
that you've been enjoying Final Fantasy XIV to this point. Especially here in Endwalker, because of where we currently are and how far we have come. Let's go around the curve and get to speak with the fisherman. Hello there, sir. Come to take care of the monsters, have you? About damn time! We're fine when we're out of the water, of course, but the fisher needs to walk on land every now and again, and the trails go more perilous by the day. I managed to sneak through without a scratch so far, but friends of mine haven't been so fortunate. Talk to the others around here, they'll tell you.
I might need your help with that, Rika. Speaking with Arco Sodana is still challenging for me.
Of course.
We should do this together then? Yes, fine, good idea.
So now, Ogol is now accompanying you. Alright, let's go ahead and speak with the 3 various people who are fishing, but not all of them are Arco Sodara. We do have another Aura here. You want to hear about monsters? I saw 3 big brutes on my way from Archeoli to Jalamut. Never seen the like around these parts before. Meanwhile, let's go over and speak with this other person who's not an Arco Sodara, this drowsy fisher. You want a story? When I left Archeoli the other day, I almost walked straight into a fiend with a tongue as long as my arm. Barely escaped being gobbled up on the spot. And then here is the Matanga for you to deal with, Ogul. Brace yourself. Attacked by the wildlife? Oh yes. While I was hauling a catch back to the town, dropped the lot and fled for my life. The roads used to be safe, but now... Yeah, but now. Meanwhile, back over here to the fisherman. I guess who's the lead hand. Ogul is... I'm an idiot. Yeah, I don't know why I keep doing that. I think I've pretty much have adapted my Monty Python and the Holy Grail mindset of get on with it! And so we are. And you still turn your back to me. So, do you understand now why we had to send for help?
I understand that you have a problem with long-tongued brutes terrorizing your roads.
Those creatures are what we call Pisaka. Without the army sending out regular patrols, it seems the inland monsters have begun expanding their territories. They've forgotten their fear of us, and that's when people start dying. I need you to remind them. Once you've found and slain those lovely bull Pisaka, I ask that you bring me one of their carcasses. There's something I've been curious about. Alright.
Very well, let us make a contest of this, shall we? The first to topple a Pisaka is the victor.
You don't know what you're up against, Ogul. Never seen anyone so eager to throw herself into a Pisaka's jaws. Shouldn't you be chasing after her? Yeah, don't worry, I got her back. Alright, let's go. Damn it. Yeah, I really need to clear my throat before I continue on after this particular string of quests comes to an end. Or afterwards, rather. So, let's go ahead and speak with Ogul.
Ha! First kill is mine! Grandmother always said that the hunter should be swift like a diving mule! Would you mind tracking down the other 2? Once they saw what I did to their friend, they fled to the northwest. I can hold this lump back to the beach while you finish the hunt.
You would be alone with the Arco Sodara, or if you're so keen on fainting. Yeah, you know what you're getting yourself into, right?
My fear of Matanga has begun to ebb, somewhat. Now go, before some other poor soul crosses paths with those monsters.
Oh, alright. Is this a fate we see going on here? No, it may be a blue mage leveling. But even that doesn't make much sense. Because yeah, the Blue Mage level cap hasn't increased, and Blue Mages can't actually level past 70 right now, and anything that's above 70 that they try and attack will not yield experience. Okay. Hey Sakas, hello there. Welcome to your worst nightmare. Take this! Yeah, I got you in my sights and you're not getting away. Pump it in there. And down you go. Alright, we're off. Alright, so yeah, back to where their boat was. Just chilling out, relaxing, riding on my chocobo. Is the moon out tonight? It is. It's a half moon. Oh, hello there, Aether Current. Yeah, I will definitely help myself to you. Yeah, I should remember to keep using it because I do have access. Hey, it's a good thing that I wandered upon it. So, back to the fisherman. And O'Ghoul's still turning her back.
Ah, there you are. Your friend is stronger than she looks. We had to load the carcass onto a boat to carry it away. What are the Pisaka's packmates? Did you find them?
Yeah, we did. No problem.
Both slain then, that is good.
Of course she slew them. Song of Reeker's deeds are sung across the steppe. My aching arms would like to know why you wanted the remains, though.
Why else? To make use of its parts. The scales can be spun into silver, and the meat will fill our pots. The bones and teeth we can craft into hooks and other tools. We will kill nothing for the sake of killing, even murderous monsters. The 2 bodies you left behind will serve as a warning to others of their kind. If it keeps them away, then no more blood need be shed.
It seems all tribes share similar customs when it comes to using every part of the kill. As grandmother always said, be not wasteful of the lives you take to sustain your own. You are so very different from your kin, the Gajasura.
Oh, so that's why you've been avoiding my gaze. If your only experience with Matanga has been our brutal cousins, then you'll find the Arco Soldata an agreeable lot by comparison. Might even make a few friends, eh? Here's your payment, and well earned, I'd say.
Well, thank you very much. Obviously, this is being split 2 ways.
Another job finished. We should report to Kankana that she might strike it from her list. Let me know when you're done basking in the success of our hunt and we can return to Yedlamad.
So, in addition to more experience points, we'll get our share of 1,175 gil. And so, let's go ahead and speak with O'Ghoul again, to take on our next quest entitled, O'Ghoul Repays Her Favors. O'Ghoul is tapping her foot impatiently.
Ready then? I've been counting the contents of my coin purse. I have enough to buy passage on a ship, but as for food and other supplies, well, I would feel more comfortable with the pay from one more job weighing on down my belt. You can see me through just one more, yes? At the very least, let us make our report to Kankana and ask what else she has on offer. Come, let us show me how fleet of foot you are, champion.
If nothing else, she's very competitive. Alright. Back on over to Miss Kankana. Yeah. Can she dance the Kankana? Yeah, it seems like a question to ask. But where is she this time? Yeah, there's no O'Ghoul. What happened?
Rika, back safely from your work on the shore, I see. But where is O'Ghoul?
Right over here. Uh-oh. Did you lose it?
Some slippery son of a Zoe snatched it from me, brazen as you please. I lost sight of him in the market along with all my worldly wealth. How am I to pay for lodgings or food?
Uh-oh.
Already my belly cries in protest.
This is not good.
Oh, you poor thing. And after all the good work you've done for us, you will stay with me tonight, I insist. You will take me in? I saw that. You looked me right in the eye. Finally warming up to us, Akasudara, are you? I can barely see you through the tears. But yes, maybe now I can stand to be in the same room as a Matanga. Some of them anyway. I'm glad to hear it. Here, and I'll lend you a few coins as well. We can't have you running around without a guild to your name.
Yeah. Consider it a loan.
Thank you. In fact, why don't we head to my house now, and we can fill that complaining belly of yours. You're more than welcome to join us, Rika.
I'd be delighted. And so away she goes. Yeah, it looks like we're finally helping her to get over her fears. Yeah, I probably don't need to be dressed for combat right now. So out the door and let's go see where Kankana resides. We return to the main part of Jalamut. And it turns out where she lives is right over here. And we thought she lived in that big house that we just left.
Rika, something terrible has happened.
What?
I've been robbed. We saw a boy jumping out of the window as we approached, and when I looked inside, all my belongings have been turned inside out. Oko set off in pursuit of the thief but hasn't returned. Do you think you can catch up with her and see if everything's alright? Or lock up here, and you can meet me back at my offices when you found her.
Yeah, there's a thief on the loose. Targeting ladies, clearly. Yeah, let's go find who's responsible. Let's go find who's responsible and hold them accountable.
Done! I lost him again! I swear it was that same human boy with made off with my coin purse. His size, his clothing, it all matches. I was willing to cut my losses and earn more guild, but this insult to my host, it will not stand! Grandmother always said to pay one's favors, and by the dust, Mother, I mean to do just that. Will you help me find justice for Kankana?
You bet I will.
Then we start by asking her for more information. I have a feeling we are not the only ones who have fallen afoul of this thieving urchin. The swifter we act, the better our chances, yes? I say we split up, gather what clues we can, then meet back at Kankana's offices.
And so away we go. Now, who can we find that can tell us what's been going on around here? Well, we'll start over here by speaking with Abdi. The recent rush of pickpocketing. Oh yes, I've heard several stories. They say it's likely the work of the same criminal. Is that so? Oh, I want to ride my chocobo, not speak with Abdi more. As much as more conversation would be nice, that's not what we're trying to do. Maybe Darpasa can give us information.
There was another robbery? I wonder if it's the same boy I found in my house the other day. He yelled that he was sorry, and when I saw the desperation on his face, I didn't have the heart to chase after him.
Yeah, maybe he could have outrun you. Yeah, let's keep looking around, see if we can find another person of interest. They all gotta be around here somewhere, and Jinazad will be the last person we need to speak to. Yeah, I don't think they would have exposed themselves very easily in the marketplace.
This is second-hand information, mind you, but I hear that the thief you're looking for is barely more than a child. Sad, isn't it? How terrible things that become. That young boy is forced into a life of crime just to survive.
Yeah, it seems that way, doesn't it? Back to O'Ghoul. Around the corner, climb the stairs, and let's get on back. Yeah, this time, no longer hiding behind anything. O'Ghoul?
Well, champion, what have we discovered?
Well, quite a lot, actually.
So our tale was a familiar one, and from what I heard, from the local children was even more disturbing. They tell me a man, a stranger, approached them with the promise of work and easy coin. I have no proof this offer is connected with the recent robberies, but it does seem suspicious. And if this stranger truly is recruiting young ones to steal for him, then he is the one I would punish for these crimes. We just need to find him first. Razat Han closing its gates left many struggling to make a living, and the appearance of the ghastly tower sparked a chain of events that still has the radiant host spread too thin on many fronts. Under the circumstances, a rise in crime is to be expected. We are fortunate then to have the two of you here to act on behalf of our lawkeepers. So please, accept this payment. We cannot expect you to walk on an empty stomach.
Well, we appreciate it. So, yeah, in addition to the experience of the 1015 gil, we'll also get some armor salad, which is a tank food. And so, let's go ahead and speak with O'Ghoul again once we have the opportunity to. And we'll take on our next quest entitled The Jalamut Hunt. O'Ghoul is eager to see justice served.
A new hunt begins. Come, we must track down the one behind all this. But we're still not sure if this stranger is actually involved in the robberies, let alone where to start looking for him. There's a simple way to find out. We lure our boy thief into stealing from me again. If what we suspect is true, then he will likely take any ill-gotten gains directly to his patron. So I will play the part of an unguarded traveler, flaunting a heavy purse or some such. Rika, you keep watch for the little pickpocket, and be ready to follow him when he makes his move. Should he lead you to some shadowy figure, then I want you to herd them both to the west. I will circle around and be lying in wait to spring an ambush. That's really quite clever, O'Ghoul. I'm impressed. Grandmother always said, if you want to catch the big fish, don't spare the bait. The same idea applies to slippery criminals. Right then, let us take our places in the town square and lay the trap for our quarry. I will try to make the lure something obvious, so you can see it being stolen from afar.
Alright. What could it possibly be? Let's go find out. Let's go find out and see what we're dealing with. So, around the corner, and try to find Miss O'Ghoul. So, she's chilling out over there. So, obviously, since an ambush is being plotted, let's go ahead and just for battle. So, yeah, trying to make one last pre-dawn heist. So yeah, O'Ghoul chills out and I guess just leaves this sword behind. So let's go and wait in position. So as we chill out and look for someone who could be suspicious, we have a young boy walking up the stairs. And he's looking around for something. Yeah, notices O'Ghoul. And then notices the sword being left against the tree. Yeah, does he dare make this move? Yep, his mind is set. And away it goes. Yeah, just walks up with it nonchalantly. Yeah, O'Ghoul notices. Do what you gotta do. Yeah, we gotta deal with this. Follow your quarry from a safe distance. The objective will end in failure if you are noticed or if you fall too far behind. Should you fail, return to the starting point to reattempt the objective. Yeah, now we're going to run into situations where people we interact with will now have a line of sight. And if they spot you, you are busted and have to start over. So yeah, take a quick duck. Quick and quiet as a mouse. But now he starts off into a full-blown sprint. Gotta follow closely without being too close. Ah, crap. Yeah, and speaking of... yeah, let's try that again. This did take me a few tries initially, to be honest. So yeah, attempt number 2. So we were basically in the good the first time, but yeah, we just simply got too close. Yeah, it's all about finding that perfect balance. And he will repeat the same actions as he did before. And now he's off. Yeah, close without being too close. Now he has to turn around again. And he's off. Yeah, looks like we've found his intended destination. The boy thief has led you to a suspicious-looking Arkasodara man. So yeah, this time we were successful. Yeah, and I wasn't sprinting or anything, I was just going at my normal pace. But I cut a little too close, I guess. Yeah, we found them. You all ready? So as the exchange is made... Ooh, you're a proper little scoundrel, aren't you? Nice work. I'll fence the rest of the goods, and then you'll get your cut. But not before I cut you down. God damn it, Rakashir! I told you to check for tails! Guilty as charged, I just happen to have one. You want your family to learn of our arrangement? Now run! Arrangement? Are you holding them captive? Are you holding them for ransom? The robbers have fled westwards. Chase after them. You know, better get moving. Yeah, simply running isn't gonna cut it. Jump in the regalia and let's go. Yeah, dawn may have arrived, but we're gonna turn the lights out on these thugs. Come on out of hiding, you two. Yeah, we gotcha. Thanks, Ogul.
My apologies, Rika. I intended to circle around as planned, but when I heard how he yelled at the child, my rage could not be contained. Grandmother always said, those who prey on the weak are undeserving of mercy, so I beat him senseless.
Well, it's good to see that you came over your fears of Matanga in more ways than one.
Foot of a Matanga! When he awakes, he will find himself in the custody of the Radiant Host! Miss, I'm sorry you got hurt because of me, and I'm sorry for taking your belongings. Apology accepted, young one. It is a brave thing to admit when you are wrong. Help me explain the situation to your lawkeepers, and we can steer you back onto the right path. If you say so, miss. I will cart this refuse to the nearest guardhouse. Pray inform Kankana of our success.
You got it. So yeah, we'll take a quick warp back to Jalamut. Okay, let's go. So, around the corner and back into Kankana's big place where she does her business. And so, sometime later... Hey there, old ghoul.
Oh, Ghoul, is everything alright? Rika just told me what happened. All is well. They began interrogating the man before I left, and he was blubbering about where he stashed the stolen goods. The soldiers plan to recover the cash and return the items to their rightful owners.
Did you get your other sword back, though?
Praise be to the sisters. There were certain personal articles, things very dear to me that I thought I had lost forever. Oh, I should mention Rakashir, our boy thief. It seems his parents were out of work begging for scraps. His crimes were of necessity, and after seeing the considerable remorse he showed for his actions, I decided to let him keep the coin he took from me, as well as my share of the reward from the Radiant Host. As grandmother always said, children are the greatest treasure of all. I can hardly let him and his family starve now, can I?
Yeah. How will you pay for your passage now? Yeah. How are you gonna go about that?
I can earn it back again easily enough. And since I have tamed my fear of the Sadara, there is no need to rush. I will take my time and explore all the wonders this island has to offer. Thank you, Rika, for staying at my side this long, but I think I can continue on alone. Speaking of which, Kankana, have you any new tasks available? Oh, my dear old ghoul, I have the perfect job for you. I actually have business with the employer myself, so we can head off together if you like.
Glad we could help there, Kankana. And now that you made your first Matanga friend here in Thavnir, all is well for you.
There you go, Rika. I hadn't forgotten your half of the reward. May your adventures be many and your hunts successful.
Well, you're quite welcome there, old ghoul. Best of luck to you, young lady. Yeah, I think we did a job well done. So we'll take our experience in our 1015 guild for completing this last part of the quest. And so, everything here in Jalamut is taken care of for now. So, now it's time to warp off to the Great Work. Yeah, there will definitely be no shortage of side quests for us to take on here at the Great Work. We'll have lots to do around here, because, yeah, look at all these side quests we can do. And of course, we'll save the blue one for last. So, now that we're back at the Great Work, let's go ahead and start taking side quests here, because there's no shortage of them. Let's begin by speaking with Yegina, and we'll take on her quest entitled Wish Upon a Crystal. Yegina requires assistance at the Great Work.
Aren't you the adventurer that saved Matsya? Excellent timing. If you have time to spare, I would ask a favor of you.
Well, what is it?
You see, the dancers of Razad Han are planning a performance to raise the people's spirits. We alchemists would like to support them with some of the finest accessories we can craft. Unfortunately, none of us have time to procure the crystals we need to finish them. It would be a great help if you could fetch the crystals from the merchant at the port at Jalamut. Of course, we will provide you with the necessary funds.
Back to Jalamut, huh?
Many thanks. The merchant is already aware of the situation and should be expecting someone to come by. I'll leave the selection of stones up to your no doubt impeccable judgments.
And so, back to Jalamut. Yeah, that was quick. Alright then, away we go. Alright, Crystal Merchant. Let's speak with you.
Welcome. What can I help you with?
We have this to give you.
Buying crystals for the alchemists? Yes, I did hear from them about that. Have you decided what you want to wish upon the crystals?
Yeah, what do you mean?
Haven't you heard? Here in Razat Han, crystals are given along with a wish.
And also, that's a typo because it's supposed to say here in Thavnair. We're not actually in Razat Han.
There's no need to think on it too deeply. Simply envision the wish you would entrust the dancers with granting to their spectators. Once I know that, I can pick out the perfect stone for the occasion.
Yeah, let's ponder this. What will you wish for? Inner peace, protection from evil, or prosperity and wealth? Well, given what happened to Nidhana, I think we want them people to be safe around here.
I see. I believe diamonds would be best for that. They say that the radiant gleam and hardiness of the gem makes it particularly effective against the realm's many evils. I will provide you with as many as I can within your budget. Be sure that they make it back safely to the alchemists at the great work.
And so away we go. And let's turn things back over to Aegina. Wow, that's a fancy fishing rod.
Ah, there you are, with some precious stones for me, I assume.
Indeed we do. Here you go.
These are perfect. Thank you for your help. Do you mind if I ask what you wished upon them?
To not suffer the same fate as Nidhana, or any other Orcosodara that came before her.
Protection from evil. It is my sincerest hope that you, as well as we, may live a peaceful life free of disaster. In Thavnair, they believe crystals have the power to grant wishes and heal sickness. It may sound like superstitious nonsense, but crystals are curious things. Part of them exists somewhere between the living and the material. As such, elemental energies can reside with them quite readily. They can influence your mind and spirit using the ether within you, which is precisely why the wish you imbue them with is so important. If the wish is impure, then so shall the crystal's effects on the user. I can tell I made the right decision in asking for your help. Please, take this as thanks.
And so with that, we'll take 173,250 experience points based on our experience level, 735 gil plus a level 80 chest coffer for the bracelets. And so let's go and leave these fisherman ladies to their thing. I know they're just called straight fishers, but yeah, it's force of habit, can't help it. Having been alive as long as I am. And have been. So next up, let's go indoors and speak with Apasa. I said we want to speak with Apasa. Yeah, Amra, this can wait. We need to speak with Apasa to take on his quest entitled Cutting Edge Solutions. Apasa regards you with mild annoyance. Are you just gonna stand there and watch me work? I'm really quite busy, you know. Here, make yourself useful and distribute this coating agent amongst the warriors at the Giant Skull grounds. Yeah. No asking me who I am, what I do. He's just like, do it. And since we're going out in the field, yeah, dressing for combat may be necessary. So yeah, let's get this coating agent to where it belongs. We'll head up, we'll climb up the hill and gaze upon the crazy purple mountains. I mean, I could call them Purple Hills, but I think Eminem would have something to say about it. There's something, I don't know. Yeah, it could be good to go back to the Giant Skull grounds and see a little more of the place, because we really didn't get to see all that much of it last night. Because, yeah, we were too busy fixating on the fact that we were riding on a Hamsa. And everyone who was watching last night was enjoying themselves and having a good time seeing what was going on. Yeah, we give ourselves more of a proper view of this place as we approach it. And someone's picking a fight with a giraffe. Or a jamal as they call them in this game. Or a damel. Depending on how and where you are. Yeah, in fact, there goes another hamster escorting someone to somewhere. Alright, we've arrived on the scene, so let's start by speaking with this soft-hearted stonecutter. Greetings, stranger. We have something for you. You brought our coating agent. The Alchemist must be up to their necks in it if they're asking outsiders to run their errands. They usually prefer to make such deliveries in person. Are they eating? I'll wager they're not eating. Maybe I should cook a pot of something and pay them a visit. Alright. You go do that. And then we have a sinewy stonecutter, and also there's another aether current over there. Who are you then? A person who brings you something. Ah, our magic alchemy oil. If we don't coat our tools with this stuff from time to time, they won't so much as scratch the giant skull. It'd be like mining rock with a wooden spoon. So does this mean you'll finish in last? The durability is what makes it worth quarrying though, and it's a fine ethereal conductor to boot. You ever need a material like that, you know where to find us. Yeah, that person also noticed it, so obviously we're gonna go there too in a moment. But first we gotta make one last delivery to this sunny stonecutter. Come to see the master quarries at work, have you? Well, that and this. Oh, my mistake. Seems you were here on a job of your own, and an important one at that. Without a steady supply of coating oil, things around here would grind to a halt. Giant Skull is one of Thavner's most sought-after resources, and we don't want to be caught low on stock when our trading ships start leaving port again. So before we go back to Apasa, let's get ourselves another aether current. Stroll on over, drop down, and attune to it. And there we go. So back over to the great work. Alright. Let's on back over to Apasa. Hey there, Apasa. We're back.
You again? I thank you for delivering those goods.
Yeah, you can at least be appreciative.
We have a relationship with the quarries which stretches back for generations and an abiding respect for the difficulties we each face. As such, I'm glad your timely delivery prevented any undue loss of labor. One day soon, I'd like to sit down and share a drink with our stone-cutting friends. Please take your payment and leave me to my work. As I said, I'm really quite busy. No sweat, so we'll take our experience and 735 gil. And there are no more quests to take in here, so we'll just head back outside. Should probably give myself a quick mend. Oh, I have nothing to mend. That's weird. Alright, let's go and speak with this timid Arkosadara next. And we'll take on his quest entitled, A Nose for Trouble. The timid Arkosadara is in need of protection. Let's guess why.
You look pretty strong. Do you think you could help me? I need someone to guard me while I gather Agni grass for my medicines. Its scent is difficult to follow, even for we Arkosadara. I can't concentrate and watch my back at the same time. Please, I'm afraid some beast will strike me while my guard is down.
Okay then.
I'm in your debt. I'll sniff out some Agni grass, so follow me.
And away we go. And on east over to where this Arkosadara is. Definitely gonna need the support, especially with what's happened lately. And we're off. Out of the village and onto the big world out there. Well, it turns out the Arkosadara isn't all that far away. Yeah, in fact, he's pretty much right outside the main entrance. Yeah, I like taking the scenic route, what can I say? At least I know where I'm going.
There! It's faint, but I can smell the grass from that way. Let's go!
Yeah, so now we're not in a close follow situation. we can get to where we need to be and we'll obtain what we need. Strange, it seems the frame rate is struggling a bit. Hopefully that's not me having an unnecessary update doing its thing while I'm trying to stream this for all of you guys. Because those are the worst. And they're really annoying. Alright, Mr. Oracle Sadara.
This is it, Agni Grass. I'll grab a few bundles, you keep watch. I'd hate to get eaten so close to my goal.
Or worse. Alright, so let's bring out my Chocobo again. For an hour's worth of work. Oh, let's chill out here. So nothing over there. Be careful of the hamster though. Because yeah, you never know if you're gonna end up standing too close. Nothing over there. And finally, yeah, we got all sides covered. But this time, we do have something coming at us. It's another Pisaka. Yeah, let's throw everything we got at it. Yeah, I'm gonna put you in pain right now. And down you go. Alright, big guy.
Thank you for watching over me. I got all sorts of ingredients, even more than I hoped for. All thanks to you. If you weren't here, I would have been too scared to... What was that? Perhaps we should continue our talks back at the Great Work.
Alright. So let's warp on back. Alright, away we go. And back to the timid Oracle Sadara.
Whew, we made it back in one piece. I really can't thank you enough. With your brawn and my nose, I got enough Agni Grass to solve a whole army's digestive issues. Having olfactory senses 5 times as strong as your average Midlanders comes in handy sometimes. I'll bet. This place can be a bit much though. So many smells mingling and clashing, and all of them so strong. Anyway, thank you again, kind adventurer. Please take this.
Oh, thank you very much. We'll take our experience at 935 gil. And from one Oracle Sadara to another. Let's cross the bridge on over here and speak with this Oracle Sadara youth. And we'll take on his quest entitled High Hopes for the Hatchery. The Oracle Sadara youth seems to be trying to catch your attention.
Are you an adventurer by chance? If you're looking for work, I could use some help sorting out what's left of the hatchery.
I believe I can do that.
You'll come then? Good. It's just a little ways north of here.
Yeah, we've been there before, and so we're going there again. And away we go. Yeah, we've already been here. In fact, we're pretty much not that far from it at this point. But yeah, if you've been with us over the course of the Let's Play since we started it on Tuesday, what has been the thing that has surprised you the most at this point? Yeah, I'd really love to get some insight from anyone who watches this while I'm streaming here on Twitch. But also, don't forget, this, of course, will all be posted later on YouTube when I have the opportunity to do so. So I'd love to hear from anyone who's watching the episodes to get feedback in that regard too. Alright, up we go. Yeah, don't need to worry about those freaky plants that are shooting stuff at me. Yeah, they're still coming, but they'll break off their pursuit eventually. They got to. Alright, sir.
Look at this place. It's a shame what they did to it. Those villains from the tower.
Oh.
I wish you could have seen the hatchery before all this happened. Until only very recently it was as busy as you please, selling meat, eggs, and poison extracts to eager merchants from across Davna and beyond. But lamenting the facts won't undo what's done, will it? Let's get to work.
So what do we gotta do?
Your task will be to sprinkle the nets with this pungent solution, which should keep the wildlife from making their lairs in the ruins. Most creatures won't come within 10 yards of it, but the hamster don't seem to mind the smell. Although we should probably clear away those old nests while we're at it. I want the birds to have a familiar sight to come back to. One day. Anyway, you get on with the sprinkling and I'll start shifting the rubble.
Yeah, use your big giant Arcosadara muscles to get stuff moved around, and I'll start spraying stuff on nests. Yeah, this is a unique type of pesticide. Yeah, let's just throw it in there. Then we'll make our way over here, spray 2 more. Stand on another would-be nest. All is all there, and now the final 2. Oh, hey, we found an egg. Yeah, this one is still perfectly intact. You find a large egg in one of the nests. Even covered with the stink of the solution, it may prove too tempting for any nearby predator. It might be safest to hand the egg to the Arcosadara youth. Yeah, that might be a good idea. So let's run on over to him and see what he has to say about it. Hello there.
Well done. What's that you have there?
We have an egg that's still intact.
You found a hamster egg. One of them must have found her way back here too late. Whether the mother can return to hatch it, however, is another story. I realize we've only just begun cleaning up here, but I think it's best this egg get back safely to the great work.
So let's go ahead and do that. Back to the great work we go. Alright. Let's go ahead and speak with the youth here. And see what he has to say.
Sorry to have you running back and forth, but this is very important to me. While I'm grateful to the Alchemist for letting me work here, my true passion was raising the birds at the hatchery. After the incident, I didn't think there was much I could do aside from tidying up the mess. As soon as you handed me that egg, though, I felt hopeful again. Where there is new life, there are new beginnings, and the hamster hatchery deserves to rise again. It isn't much, but please take this in exchange for the gift you've given me.
And so in addition to the experience, we'll take 895 gil. And hopefully he can build an incubator for that egg. So, conveniently close by, next we'll speak with Rinsarud. We'll speak with him to take on our next quest entitled Hamster Retrieval. Rinsarud appears utterly distraught.
Oh, Ham, where could she be? Please, you must help me. She's gone. My darling Ham has wandered off. Ham is the name of my hamster. You're not familiar with the word? It's a species of cloudkin closely related to the Eorzean dodo.
Yeah, we heard about that.
They're not exactly swift on their feet, so you'd expect she'd be easy to catch. And yet I can't seem to find her anywhere. What if she falls off into the sea? What if some roaming predator tries to make a meal of her? I can't bear the thought of it. I'll keep scouring the immediate area, but I'd be most grateful if you could search the wilds to the north of here. Oh, my poor Ham.
Alright. Yeah, we'll find your Ham. So yeah, where has this hamster gone? And what's trying to destroy her and lay her to waste? Yeah, let's go and find out. So, crossing across the grasslands here, knowing that the power is still always ominously present. And knowing what happened last night, yeah, the talisman may have done its job to protect against being corrupted, but yeah, there was something that Nidhana hadn't planned on and it cost her. You spot hamster tracks. They appear to be headed westwards. So away we go. And I see another spot for us to check for this thing over here. And we have some loose feathers. A number of feathers litter the ground here. Whatever shed them may still be close by. Let's find out if that's true. Hey there, Tharia, welcome to the stream. Glad to have you with us. Yeah, where are these wild things? Yeah, could they be hiding behind the corner or something? And it turns out the answer is yes. Yeah. Birds attacking other birds. How is that fair? Yeah, you're gonna get lined up and then taken out. Yeah, you're not gonna survive this ordeal. And there we go. Alright, this thing is safe and sound. Ham appears to be unhurt and wholly unfazed by your little adventure. Return the wayward hamster to Rinsarud. And so, back to the great work we go. Did you get what you needed there, Tharia? Because yeah, I know things, given where you are right now, are not all that great. Alright, Reen. Oh, I do hope nothing awful has befallen her. Well, we do have this.
Ham! You found her! I'm honestly surprised she made it that far north. Was she trying to return to the hatchery, I wonder?
Oh, that's where she came from? You may have noticed some ruined buildings up there. Those are the remains of the Hamster Hatchery, a place of great cultural and historical significance. Until its recent destruction, it seemed an indelible landmark. They were able to relocate some of the breeding birds to stables within the city proper, but many, like my precious Ham, simply scattered across the countryside. One day when things have settled down and the hatchery is rebuilt, I hope to return these wayward chicks to their former owner. I shall be sad to see them go. While we have the hamster here, however, we can harvest their poison glands for use in various alchemical mixtures, not to mention enjoy their placid and entirely agreeable company. Of course. Here, this is for bringing Ham back safe and sound. Be sure to pay her a visit once her old home has been restored to its former glory. That we can do. We'll take our experience points and 815 gil. And as we see a giant Spriggan carrying someone away, let's head on just outside the town to speak with this honest alchemist, to take on his quest entitled Missing Alchemist. The honest alchemist needs help. You've come by at the perfect time, adventurer. Could you help me find someone? One of my colleagues went to receive and delivery and hasn't come back. I'm worried something might have happened. Oh, thank you. He went to Jalamut, so let's start by looking around the 8th right there. Alright, away you go, and we shall follow. In the hopes that you'll run into fewer people? Yeah, because that's what I'm surmising. Hello. I've been asking around about my colleague, and someone claims to have seen him setting out from port in a small boat. Maybe he loaded the shipment onto it and headed back, in which case, we must have just missed him. I hope that's all that happened. Well, let's head back to the great work. We should keep an eye on the shoreline and our way back just in case. Alright, keep on looking for the guy. Up we go. And onward we will hopefully find this person. Walk past some striking dummies. Yeah, so as the sun sets on another day here in Thavnir, we know, of course, what's going to be taking the place as far as something shining. I mean, it's kind of hard to not see it. So let's head on over to where the Alchemist went. Quite a bit of distance out, actually. Yeah, it looks like he arrived in Akyali. There you are. And here's his associate.
Oh no, his boat must have capsized. I loaded everything on the boat to bring back, but something hit us and... I managed to swim safely, but the cargo... I'm so sorry.
Forget the cargo. All that matters is you're alright. We'll just have to do without the sunken goods. Yeah. Shall I retrieve them for you, or looks like the perfect opportunity to practice my underwater breathing technique. Yeah. Shall I retrieve them for you?
What? You can do that?
Indeed I can. Yeah, a little blessing from the Kojin.
Thank you. There were 5 articles in all. Some of them sunk, but some float.
I'm sorry to leave this to all of you, but I need to get him home before his condition worsens. We'll head back to the Great Work first, so come meet us when you're done. Alright. Yeah, the two of you head on out. Meanwhile, I'll make it an opportunity to change things over and get into swim gear, as it were. Because I just happen to have some. Yeah, let's go ahead and put this stuff on. Alright, Rika's all set to go, so let's head on into the water. Now, he did mention that some of the stuff floats, so we'll be keeping an eye on that. So let's head out into the sea. Yeah, it's all going to be about quite a bit of distance out, actually. But hey, it'll help us as far as revealing more of the map's location. And on top of that, getting more experience in the process. Yeah, we see our first item that's floating. And in fact, we see 2. Yeah, 2 waterlogged boxes around here, so let's go ahead and pick them up. And then we'll go over here. And pick up this one. Alright. Yeah, I need to remind myself how to submerge because it's been a while since I've had to do this. And so here are some sacks. Then let's go over and get this sack. And then we see the last one right over there. Oh, that's interesting. Alright, head on back to the Great Work then. Yep, that would sufficiently reveal a part of the map. Alright, let's go. And we'll speak with the Alchemist and see what he has to say about all this.
You made it back. If you're worried about my colleague, he's fine. Just resting after clearing out the water in his lungs. I gave him some chai and he went right to sleep.
And meanwhile, we have this for you.
You managed to retrieve all the lost cargo? Incredible! These are valuable weapons imported from Vilbrand. They just need a few alchemic finishing touches before they're complete. From here, they'll head off to the hands of the Razatan warriors to help protect the Order. Thank you for everything, adventurer.
Glad I could help. So, we'll take the experience in our 815 gil. And away he goes. So I'm going to say hello to the new FC member who just came in. And then we shall continue on. Well, it seems my neighbors upstairs are really noisy today. Yeah, it turns out I found dry land that somehow I was able to stand on. Yeah, let's pull ourselves up. We still got work to do. Looks like we'll find the next person up here around this winding path. And indeed we have. And we'll get out of this gear for a while. I'm gonna switch the number over. There we go. Just in case we need to go swimming again. Which, spoilers, we will. So, let's move on now and speak with this muscular alchemist to take on his quest entitled Paints, Perfume, and Pecs. The muscular alchemist needs help finding ingredients for paints. Is he playing Mylon's Secret Castle? You there, adventurer. I find myself in need of assistance. You will help me, won't you? I believe I can, but what do you need? You see, I received an order for custom paints, but the necessary ingredients are rather rare. The amber in particular is difficult to come by, as it must be taken from a Varia Langula. And not just any old fruit will do, only one held by the strongest, most virile male specimen will suffice. I know of a sure way to attract a suitable Varia Langula, but I'm afraid defeating the beast is beyond me. If only a strong, brave, kind adventurer could protect poor little me. You've come to the right place. I expect a handsome reward, but let's be humble. I always am. I feel safer already. Come now, I will lead you to where the Varia Langula gather. We head southeast. Alright, time for combat again. And go. So as nighttime has fallen here in Thavnair, we continue on with helping various people with their side quests. So here's the Alchemist chilling out right over here. I've kept you waiting long enough. Let's get to it, shall we? Take this perfume and douse my frail, meager body in it. I must be as a flower dripping with sweet nectar. Like what? Quickly now, slather it on, else I won't catch the attention of even the weakest Varia Langula. Yeah, so it seems like we found a Hildebrand wannabe. Except in salamander oil, we're rubbing this random fragrant oil on this guy. Yeah, this is clearly a Hildebrand wannabe. Perfect! I'm positively irresistible! Now, I'll use my wiles and enticing scent to lure Varia Langula this way. You wait here, and prepare to strike him down. So yeah, let's just chill out as he breaks out into a dance. Is this supposed to be some sort of mating dance or something? Well, probably not, but hey, it still looks weird all the same. And yeah, he's not done dancing at all, not even close. Yeah, look at that guy go. Almost got this thing down. And we got it. Yeah, now his mating dance is a victory dance. Such valiance! I could hardly tear my eyes away as you heroically slayed the beast. Now, the fruit of you, please. Here you go. Yes. Perfectly succulently ripe. This will make a fine paint. Our work here is done. Let us return to the great work before another Varia Langula sets its sights on me. What, you don't want to get another one? Alright then, if you say so. Alright, let's go and hook up with this guy again. Take the various hairpin bends as we make our way back over to the guy. Yeah, certainly a character to be sure. Back over to him. Many thanks for your assistance, adventurer. I never imagined I could procure such a fine component for my paints. Say, do you know why the Varia Langula carry this fruit? They present them to their desired mates, hence the scented oils. Pheromones, you see. I kinda had a feeling what you were doing was misleading as far as looking like a mating dance. The Amra is also the official fruit of Thavnir. You can eat it or use it as painting material, as I shall, of course, but it is also said to ward off evil and secure a strong family lineage. But there's more to this fruit than mere superstition. It has sufficient antibacterial properties to be used as a household remedy to keep any family well. Oh, but listen to me, rambling on and on. Allow me to thank you once more. I hope our paths will cross again. And so we'll take our experience and our 975 gil and let this Hildebrand wannabe go on his way. Alright, away we go. So now we got 3 different quests over this way. Yeah, all in this particular location, it seems. Well, 2 of them. One of them may be just outside. Unless the person behind me... Ah, there we go. Alright, so let's see who we're helping here. Beginning with Nashrafal. Let's go and speak with him to take on his quest entitled High Importance, Low Urgency. That certainly sounds weird. Nashrafal wants to help their fellows at the great work, but can't do it alone. Hello there, adventurer. Can you help me? I need someone to go around and see if anyone is want for supplies. What do you mean by that? I would do it myself, but we alchemists are all so busy that no one wants to bother each other with selfish requests. But if an outsider like you asks, they might just open up a bit. Please, I need to start restocking, but at this rate I'll never know what needs replenishing. I would really appreciate your help. Alright then. Thank you. I should mention that it might be a bit difficult to get some of the workers' attention. Everyone is exhausted, so make sure to greet them and get them out of their heads. Okay. So we'll around the corner and see who needs talking to. Starting with Maruvets. Hello there. Let me go ahead and prepare the greet emote. Hello there.
Ah, apologies, I was moments away. Is there something I can do for you?
Well, this actually.
Now that you mention it, I'm running low on serpent root. It has all sorts of medicinal uses, so I feel I can never have enough. I still have some stock left, but you never know what might come up. It certainly couldn't help to have some extra.
Meanwhile, outside, who else are we gonna find? Perhaps chilling out of the dock over here. We'll find Sajavaz, which is quite a fancy name. And thanks for the photobomb. Ugh. Yeah, he's grunting something to himself. Maybe we can say hello? Hello there. Oh, what's the matter with me? Nearly fell asleep. Sorry about that. Did you need to speak with me? I do, yes. Let me think. There are no alchemical components I need at the moment, but I could stand to have some non-perishables on hand. I end up skipping meals because I'm only too busy with work, so something nutritiously dense that I can eat one-handed while I work could be a lifesaver. If there's food stuff like that, I'll take as much as I can get. Alright. So we'll loop around the Aetheryte and make our way over to Person of Interest number 3. Yeah, we're heading on over to Mr. Jalamut. Hello there. Oh, terribly sorry. It wasn't my intention to ignore you. Can I help you? And, well, it's me who wants to help you, sir. Well, since you ask, I am ever wanting for more tea and milk. A nice cup of chai is just what my body and mind need to unwind after a few sleepless nights of work. It isn't something I can readily ask for, seeing it isn't strictly a necessary medicinal ingredient. Ingredients, rather. But I know that seeing to your own well-being is essential to producing quality work, but I just can't bring myself to be so selfish. I wouldn't consider that selfish at all, sir. Not even close. I mean, how are you going to do anything if you aren't even alive to do it? Think about that. Alright, let's go. Back on over to Nashrafal. Yo, Buck, what did everyone ask for? Well, here's the list. I had a hunch you'd be able to get more out of them than me. None of these requests are particularly unexpected, but only non-perishable food I can think of we can get is pickles. And that doesn't quite sound like what he wanted. I do want to make sure everyone is eating properly. I know they all rely on their medicine to get them by when they're too busy to eat. I wonder. I'll ask a friend of mine from Charlene if there's anything to be done. Anyway, that's a problem for me to think about, not you. Thank you for your help. Glad we could, so we'll take our experience, 735 gil, plus 2 portions of Zurek, a healer food. So he's taken care of. Now let's head on over to Miss Varpasa, and we'll take on her quest entitled The Great Heists. Varpasa is searching for something at the Great Work.
Damn, who could have done this?
Hello there.
It was you, was it? No, it couldn't have been. Besides, an upstanding adventurer like yourself wouldn't be so cruel as to steal my wares. You wouldn't be willing to lend a hand in getting them back, would you?
I believe I can help you with that. I already helped someone dealing with a thief earlier today.
Oh, thank you, thank you. He looked to be male, about this tall, and dressed in all black alchemist garb. That's all I can tell you. I didn't get a good look at him before he ran off toward Akyali. I can't trust anyone here. Who knows how many accomplices he has lurking about? But you're not from around here, so you're in the clear. I know I can trust you to track down that thieving lowlife.
You're just trusting me on a whim even though we've only just met, huh? That's a lot of trust you're putting in me. Now if I can just find my way out. Yeah, we're heading off to Akyali to find what we need next. And so we will go back there. Yeah, let's get out in the open and head on southeast. Back towards the fishing village we go. Alright, jumping in the sky! Taking myself down to 1 point! Not afraid to go for broke here. Oh, look out. Oh, jeez. Yeah, my HP is still too low. It's not worth it to fight. Let's get on over to where we need to be. And we are now approaching Akyali. So yeah, where is the suspicious alchemist that we're looking for? Seems like he's not in town, but probably just outside of it. Yeah, he's actually close to the Yedlama, to be honest. Meanwhile, someone's running around. Lalafell. Who just suddenly disappeared. Yeah, he vanished without a trace. Where is this guy? Here he is. Hey, you! That fool left himself wide open to get robbed. He didn't even notice me following him from the port. Now all I have to do is sell off this fancy metal, and I'll never have to work another day in my life. Or for a few weeks at least. Yeah, you set your ambitions too high, sir. What are you looking at, huh? Scram! You think you're some kind of defender of justice? I guess I am. Warrior of Light at your service. To pound jerks like you into submission. And you're not gonna like it when I drop pain onto your brain. Yeah, you are not gonna have a good time when you're facing me. You're dead. But now there's more. Yeah, he had friends. So now we gotta deal with them too. Oh, Kai, welcome back. Long time no see from you. Almost gotcha. There we go. Let's investigate the box. What's in the box? Well, we'll get an answer as soon as we take this to Varpasa. Alright. In we go, and we'll see what Varpasa has to say about the contents.
How did it go?
Well, here you are.
My sheet metal! You got it back! Nothing's stopping me from fixing up that busted old furnace now. So, what can you tell me about the culprit?
He was pretty shady.
One of the Ellison folk? Rare to see them around these parts. He must have traveled here from somewhere else. All sorts of people come to Razat Har, not all of them respectable. The freedom of the city calls people from all lands and walks of life. He must have been aboard the same vessels as me, seeing as he knew I was transporting valuables and tailed me from the port. I'll need to be more careful of my surroundings from now on. If only everyone were as trustworthy as you. In any case, I'm almost glad this was a clear-cut robbery. If it had been one of my comrades that stole from me, well, I won't dwell on it. Here, take this as thanks for hunting that thief and returning my goods.
And so we'll take our experience in 815 gil. And now the last person inside this particular building is Kasuma. So let's go and speak with her to take on her quest entitled Rushing Up That Hill. As opposed to running up that hill, Kasuma seems hesitant to address you. I hope me being armed is not making her reluctant.
Excuse me, explorer, mercenary, adventuring person. Normally I wouldn't dream of bothering you, but this hardly seems the time to overburden the valiant soldiers of the Radiant Hosts. I just need a simple ingredient to further my current research. The complicated part is that harvesting said ingredient without being murdered by the local wildlife. Would you be so kind as to venture into the hills and fetch me some bark shavings from the trees which grow there? Here, I'll lend you my special bark stripping knife.
Oh, you have a custom tool for me. Alright. Well, let's hope we don't run into any tools along the way. Yeah, I couldn't help myself on that one. Alright, away we go. Yeah, apparently someone still wants to have Midgard Sommer at their side, even though the fact that on side questing in canon, Midgard Sommer is gone. Because he sacrificed himself to deal with Omega in Stormblood. And that's the last we saw of him. So, hustling over to where that giant tree is. or giant skull tree. Past the quote-unquote chickens. Yeah, imagine trying to make tikka masala out of that. I know that's not what they officially called it, but anyone that knows what tikka is usually associates it with tikka masala. Alright, let's scrape. And that's all there is to it. And there we go. Yeah, nothing to it at all. So, around the corner, and over to Kasuma. Yeah, that was straightforward enough.
Ah, you're back. Have you brought the bark and my knife?
Right here. There you go.
Yes, this smells absolutely wonderful. I can already imagine the fragrance when I craft the next batch of incense. I'm studying various methods for enhancing the effects of incense, you see. Specifically, the sense which can promote calm and tranquility. And with everything that's been happening, well, we could all do with a dose of calm and tranquility, couldn't we? Life can be trying at the best of times, and I'm hoping my research will help the people endure the worst of them. Thank you kindly for your assistance.
Glad we could help. So we'll take our experience in 735 gil. Alright, so that takes care of all the available side quests in the Great Work except for one. And that, of course, is the Ether Current quest. So let's go ahead and make our way to it right now. Around in the corner and getting to where we need to go. So we spoke with Jalamut earlier, and now we're going to speak with him in regards to a quest. Let's go ahead and take on Jalamut's side quest for the Aether Current entitled Alchemist or Dancer. Jalamut is concerned about a colleague.
Do you have a moment, adventurer? One of my colleagues has gone missing. She said she was going to Kadaya's footsteps to get a better bit of exercise, but she hasn't come back. I'd go search for her, but it's almost time for a shift change, and I can't very well leave the kiln to operate itself. Could you find her and fetch her for me?
Alright.
You're too kind. She should be in Kadaya's footsteps. Keep an eye out for a hero with black hair. I'm sure she'll be happy to see you. She was out the last time you were by, and she was devastated that she missed out on the chance to meet one of the students of Baldessian.
Well, I'm not actually one of them if word hasn't already gotten out. I'm just associated with them. But even by that token, the people over in Old Charlian, yeah, they kind of saw through the ruse. So off we go to find this hewer. It's ready to go and leave through these gates. And we'll head on over to where this place is. Yeah, the trail is pretty simple enough to follow. Yeah, it's a pretty nice little night in the rain we're enjoying. But if we have to knock some Pisaka senseless, then so be it. Just make sure we don't want to get any more feral opponents coming after us. Yeah, we were already here earlier with Nidhana. Sorry I keep bringing her up. Hello there.
What do you mean I need to get back to work? Oh, have I really been out that long? I should really go. But I was hoping to get a better look at the stage before I left. I'm sure you're busy, but could you assist me for a moment?
Okay then.
Thank you. I'll inspect the walls, so could you make sure the stage is in order?
Alright. Yeah, we gotta look in 3 spots specifically to see what's going on. 2 of them are pretty obvious. One is over here at this pillar. let's have a look with our miming skills. Some of the paint is worn off. It could use a fresh coat. Meanwhile, over here, jumping up and down to get over to this curtain, or banner I guess it would be. The cloth wavers exquisitely in the wind. No problems here. And then finally, down here, near the edge of the cliff. That's quite a drop, and we can't fall down here from where we currently are, just in case you're wondering. Yeah, it's set up in such a way that we can't. There's a small hole in the floor. That can't be good. Alright, let's go and inform the hero what's going on. Hello there.
Any problems? The floor and the paint. I'll have to fix them the next time I come by. Thank you for checking. You know, it seems odd that I've never met you until now. You wouldn't happen to be the adventurer sent by the students of Baldessian, would you?
Guilty as charged.
You are! And here I was delegating you menial tasks. If I had known,
Well, it's something that we just do.
I've always admired travelers like you. You see, I was studying to be a dancer under Mistress Nashmira at one time.
Oh, you know who that is.
I wanted to see the realm as I travel for performances. And maybe I still can, not as a dancer of course, but as an alchemist. Oh, but we should hurry back to the great work. I don't want to cause any more trouble than I already have.
And so, away she goes. And so will we. Alright. Get my bearings and then we'll go speak with Jalamut. Hey there, Jalamut, how are ya?
Ah, there you are. I heard you helped my colleague with our stage inspection while you were out. It's greatly appreciated. She really looks up to your kind, you know. She lost her chance to become a dancer due to an unfortunate injury, and now she's working to heal the sick and injured as an alchemist. She was so happy to meet you, as am I. Here, a token of our thanks. So with that, we'll take our experience, 895 gil plus another Aether Currents. And so, with that all taken care of, that means that all these side quests now available in the Great Work and in Jalamut are now cleared. So everything is resolved for now here in the Thavnair area. And so that means that we can go ahead and prepare ourselves to take a break for the time being. So obviously, I'm going to be back later this afternoon because I'll be back over in Charlian and we will be resuming the main story at that point. Plus, if we have the opportunity, we'll also take it upon ourselves to go and check out the 2 new jobs that have come out for Endwalker, the Reaper and the Sage. And so I'll hope to see you guys back here later this afternoon as we embark on that journey. So in the meantime, I have to get the next episode of the Endwalker Let's Play out for YouTube, and so I'll look forward to seeing all of you guys later. So, with that, I'd like to thank everyone for watching the continuation of Let's Play Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker live here on Twitch. So, thank you very much everyone for watching, and until next time everyone, may you ever walk in the light of the crystal. As I literally have a giant crystal right over my shoulder.